Get this set up, and we are live, dude. What are you doing, brother?
Not much, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, baby. 2019. Who knew?
We're here.
Dude, didn't know if I was going to make it.
It was a long break, man. I'm glad to be back in the office. Had a lot of family time, and it was good, but I'm ready to get back
Ready to get it going.
Absolutely.
Tell you what, I can only play so much PlayStation, man. I can only get killed in Fortnite so many times before it's like, you know what, I need to do something productive. So
I bought my 11-year-old a basketball goal, so I've been hooping it up in the driveway.
Nice,
with all the
dude.
Neighborhood kids for the past week. So
yeah. Did you get like the big NBA official looking one? Or?
I got like a middle of the road one. Well, there's some that are just outrageously $2,000. You know,
it's ridiculous.
NBA official. Now we went with a mid-grade one where you can throw the ball up and it hits the backboard and actually bounces off instead of sticking there. So it's
so the one we bought, it was this was a couple years ago probably, right? And I, obviously I'm not gonna spend like you. I'm not gonna spend $2,000 on something like that. So I found one on sale. It ain't the regulation size or any of that, but you can adjust the height and there's a hoop.
Right.
Long story short, man, wind comes by, blows it over, and it sits there for a few days. When I finally pick it up, once the rain stopped, because let's be honest, we've had so much freaking rain this year. When I picked it up to put it back, the backboard is now bent.
Now, we got an in-ground one, so...
Oh, you had to mount it.
Oh, yeah. We didn't go full cheap mode. We
dude, no, now, see, I'm just a miser. I feel like a cheapskate.
Now, or HOA, you'd have to drag it to the backyard or your garage. They won't let you leave it up overnight, so... Really? Yeah, I had to go with the in-ground route.
See, for all I know, my HOA is doing the same thing. Nobody just told me anything yet. Like ours is to the point, so ours has that big reservoir, so we filled that up with water, and that obviously wasn't enough. So now I've got like 3 bags of salt pellets on top of that sucker.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Now it ain't going nowhere.
I've had one of those in the past, so this is now we got an in-ground. Hopefully I'm raising the next Kobe Bryant. We'll see.
There you go. The next LeBron.
Yeah, I actually got him a LeBron little jersey for Christmas. So
really,
a Lakers LeBron.
Dude, mine was shoes. For mine, my boy wanted shoes. Have you heard of those Kyrie's?
Kyrie's? No, I didn't even know he had his own shoe line.
I don't even know who he is.
I know who he is.
That's how disconnected I am from this stuff.
He was hurt all last year. I'm surprised he has his own shoe line. So.
Oh, dude! Not only does he have a shoe line, he's got it's like a rainbow of colors that you can choose from for the shoe. You know how like back when the Jordans were big, it was like they would come out. And then they were kind of like either one color or maybe like 2 different colors. But there wasn't like 8 different versions of color that I remember.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now it's gotten to the point where with specifically with these Kyries to where it's just like, oh, you can get the black, green, and blues. You can get the blue and whites with a little red. Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, my God.
It's crazy, dude. And it's the same price.
So are Jordans not a thing anymore?
Jordans are still a thing, but those are, I think, more like the sneakerheads.
Right.
Jordans are eternal at this point.
Like Kyrie's are more of like casual kids just want some Kyrie's.
Nah, man, they're like legit basketball shoes,
right.
And they're actually really cool once you break it down. Like it has like this cool message written on the bottom of the sole and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty cool. I didn't like the price, but the shoe's pretty nice,
Get you a matching pair.
No, not gonna happen. I get enough flack for walking around in sneakers at work.
You're rocking the K-Swiss. That's right.
It, man. I got my Vaynerchucks, dude. I'm good. I'm actually ordering a pair because he did the white ones to start with, the clouds they call them, and now he's got black ones that are called the dark clouds. And it's like, oh, I gotta get the black ones, dude.
The black cloud.
And it's still cheaper than those darn Kyries I bought. You know what I mean? So, anyway. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Big B Mortgage Podcast. Today, first episode, 2019. I am sitting down with my good friend and fellow Movement Mortgage-ateer, Mr. Sam Whitworth, right? That's how I say the last name?
You got it. Whitworth, yes.
Yeah, see, I always screw it up. Dude.
Not Whitmore, not Whittington.
No,
Whitworth.
Whitworth.
Yeah, I always get Whitmore.
Dude, I tried to email you the other day, and I swear I almost sent it to Sam Whitlow.
Whitlow. I don't get that one, but No, Whitworth.
Yeah, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I double checked my spelling first. Worked out. So how's it going, brother?
It's going good, man. Like I said, I'm ready to get back to work and get 2019 started.
Yeah? In lieu of the government shutdown and the debate over the wall.
The wall. Hey, rates are dropping. It's a good time.
I tell you what, I'm going to take what I can get. I agree with you. Yeah,
right.
Rates have definitely given us a little bit of breathing room, which is nice, right? Because there for a minute, we were all just sitting there like, oh, dude, I'm going to be selling 6-7% here before you know it.
It just felt a little weird to be quoting rates with a 5 in front of it. It's been a while. I remember it, but it's been a while. So.
Well, you know, and I've said it before in other episodes, man. My first house, dude, 8.5%.
Wow.
This is a long time ago, right? But, I mean, 8.5%. And I was fine. It was like, that was a good rate at the time. And then I remember I refinanced like a year and a half later, and I got 6. Man, I thought I won the lottery.
Yeah, I remember 6.5 is what I did.
6.5?
I think I even paid a couple of points to get that rate. So
really?
Yeah. And I just like you, I think I refinanced it twice.
Yeah. So, dude, all right. You a little bit I know about you. You've been in the business, God, like a baker's dozen as far as years go, right? Like
about 15 years. Yeah.
15 years.
15
bro.
years.
Like, yeah, we're about the same age in the industry.
I am 46. I was 31 when I started. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been a roller coaster, ain't it?
It's been it's been great though. It's been more ups and downs for sure.
You know, there's never a dull moment in our industry. That's one thing I tell people. It's hard. It's not easy. I mean, a lot of people, I think, especially if you're just coming into it. Like I did you know Ken, right? We did an episode with Ken, and he was sharing his story, and one of the things was like, you know, he just dropped and jumped, you know, and he kind of had this vision of what the first year was going to look like, and then reality kicks in, and boom. But he's doing good now, which is great.
No, Ken's doing great for sure.
So
you know, coming from the tech industry to this though, that's quite a change.
Well, yeah, and a lot of his was, you know, kind of like a faith thing. Like he I think he said it was, if I remember correctly, it was like prayer, like led him to ultimately come into this. Which, wow, awesome. You know,
absolutely.
And it's good to see him thrive. It's good to see everybody thrive, but. Point is I think a lot of people, I don't want to say take it for granted, but maybe take it for granted when they first get in. You know what I mean? And getting back into it like 15 years ago, it was a completely different beast than it is now. Right?
Absolutely it was.
And
I had a similar kind of experience to Ken, though. So
what was your experience?
Well,
what drew you into the cult of mortgage?
You know, just to give you a little background on me, I grew up in South Texas like you, right? The Rio Grande Valley.
Boy.
30 miles from the border in Harlingen, Texas. And,
hoorah.
Went to Texas A&M, and, you know, I thought I wanted to be an accounting major. And, you know, I loved the number side of that. Loved it. But then the boring side of accounting, realized I couldn't do it, switched to management. So, you know, that led me to a illustrious career in retail management. So it doesn't get much better than that. Like working 80 hours a week, and used to hate the day before Thanksgiving or the day of Thanksgiving, because I have to get up at 3 a.m. for Black Friday. And so, you know, I did that for several years with Super Target, and tried to get out of the retail business when I was with Super Target. Looked around. I thought I was going to get a sales job like all my buddies had, but I couldn't get over the, you know, starting off with back then it was a $20,000 base, and, you know, potential to make commission, but I thought that was just crazy. I was like, you know, I'm doing great in retail management with my base salary, working 90 hours a week. And anyway, I did that longer. I ended up leaving Target and trying to find a sales job, and didn't do that. Got back in retail running Toys R Us stores. So I did that. Yeah, so that was a much less stressful job than Target. But
I don't know, man. I've been to some Toys R Us's in my day, and that was a stressful place, bro.
Only certain times a year. But yeah, so, you know, I got married, and you know, my wife worked, and we were pregnant with my first son, Toby, and just kind of the writing was on the wall. Toys R Us the signs were there that they were having some trouble. Yeah. And, you know, there was nowhere to go. So as far as, you know, upward mobility, so
kind of hit that ceiling then.
Bought my first house, did a mortgage, and I was just blown away. I was like, this is what I want to do.
Right.
And I realized that, my wife was probably going to have to work forever if I stayed on the track I was at. So took a chance, had a buddy that worked over at World Savings, and it wasn't really doing originating loans, but it was selling the pick-a-pay arm and
wholesale
adjustable rate. Yeah, and just calling on mortgage companies. So
wholesale was so much fun back then, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on.
It was fun.
Once you got that, what we called the milk route built, it was
the 360 milk route. That's what there was, like, I don't know, 50 mortgage companies on 360. If you went all the way down to down by Barton Creek Mall and all the way up to 183, there's a ton of mortgage companies. So,
oh my gosh, see, I never covered Austin in wholesale. When I did wholesale, again, kind of the curse of speaking Spanish, right? Like every job I ever get, they find out I'm from the area and I'm bilingual, and boom, all of a sudden I'm managing that territory.
Yeah, no, that's awesome you did that. Man, I took Spanish in high school, but I could kick myself for not taking it more seriously.
Dude, I took Spanish in high school too, and I tell you what, if it had not been for those summers working in Mexico, I would not know Spanish. Because it was a different kind of Spanish in school, man. I mean, it was the proper Spanish. It was the Spanish you speak if you go to the interior. You know what I mean? Like, you get along where we grew up, bro, it's Tex-Mex.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some slang in that.
I just know all the bad words. So
right, dude. We had who was I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were having this whole discussion on the word "way." Do you remember people calling each other "way" growing up?
Usually had a word before that, but yeah,
like "oye, way," and other versions of "hey, way."
Yeah,
and the guy was telling me, he still lives down there, and he was telling me how insulted he is whenever somebody called, like whenever he because he teaches high school. That's what it was.
Oh.
He's a high school welding teacher, and he was complaining about how like the kids, his kids are always saying, "Oh, way," and "hombre, way," and all this stuff. And I mean, in essence, they're calling each other yaks. Right? Or oxes, dumb oxes, right?
Right.
But I'm sitting here thinking, like, yeah, dude, if you go into, like, Mexico City or Monterrey or any of those places and you call somebody away, they're going to look at you cross-eyed because they have no clue. Right. There's no point of reference for that. But anyway, sorry, dude, I'm drifting off.
I was explaining my, I was doing the wholesale thing, and, you'd run into the First Franklin, First Magnus, all those guys.
Option
we were all out there. Yeah, all those guys that are gone now, including World Savings. Anyway, my search led me. I had the person that did my loan when I bought my first house. I called on her, and she was a builder's mortgage company, Mercedes Homes. So I made that a point to call on builders mortgage companies because I knew how busy they were.
Right.
So, sure enough, after calling on her for a while, she had a stack of loans on her desk and was just overwhelmed and said, "Hey, you want to come work for me?" I don't think she realized I didn't know what I was doing as far as originating loans.
You didn't know there was a T in the word.
Yeah, absolutely. I had no idea. I just knew how to sell pick-a-pay arms, right? You got your interest-only option, your negative AM option. Yeah. So, anyway, I did that, and she wasn't even much help because she was so busy herself. And she didn't have time to train me. But luckily, my college roommate was doing the same thing in Houston for a different builder. And I still owe him to this day. I burned up his phone lines. And, I would be on the phone with people, and they would ask me something I didn't know. And I would just say, "Hey, I got to hold on a minute," and call him and get the right answer, then call him right back. And I learned pretty quickly, though. So just because of the volume that we were doing at
That's
the time.
the best way to learn, though, man.
That's just,
in my opinion,
hands-on, absolutely.
Yeah, tripping, dude.
Yeah.
Tripping over your feet. You know?
Right.
There's really no other way. I mean, yeah, you could sit there and read the manuals all day long, but
sure,
the manuals don't prepare you for life.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't prepare you for sitting across from that borrower and them explaining, and let's say you got credit challenges, and them explaining to you the situations behind it and having to help them navigate through that,
Right. No, absolutely. And
I mean, it's easy when they got an 800 credit score, right?
But, yeah, I mean, we were talking about it the other day. Is here in the office is like you get new loan officers, and they think they got to bury themselves in the books and learn everything there is to know before they're out there getting loans, and they kind of have that backwards, especially with a great company like our company at Movement, where you have so many resources, and you can figure out the loan part of it. The thing you need to worry about is getting the loan. So
yeah. Building trust and rapport, right?
Absolutely. And but back to that job. My processor was great also. She helped me. And a few months after I was there, my boss left. So I was the only loan officer supporting the builder. And they were going to hire somebody else, but I was able to hold everything down. And so they ended up not hiring anyone else. And the rest is history for the next 4 or 5 years. So
Wow.
I stayed on that job, yeah.
Just working that builder.
Working that builder, met a lot of great people that are all at different places now. Mercedes was a victim of the 2008 crash.
Right.
So, yeah, it's funny what a small-knit community it is. I can still think of at least 10 people, and they're all here in the Austin area doing other things. So
Yeah. Well, at one point in my career, I was doing builder. I was working for a mortgage company out of San Antonio, and I landed, a builder account, right? Started off as the third, fourth look guy, worked my way up to premier status.
Working the decline, the double declines.
Oh, my gosh, dude. And it was what amazed me, though, is how much stuff people missed, right? Like, if you really dig into a file, it may look, quote unquote, hairy on the surface, but when you really dig in, I mean, there's still gold there.
Right, absolutely. I've been on I've done that for several builders, second looks, and sometimes you get these loan officers that are super, super busy, and you'll get somebody that just has a complicated self-employment loan that they didn't want to mess with.
Right.
So.
I remember one case, the preferred lender at the time passed, right? It was like, no, we're not going to be able to help this guy. Like, whatever. And the thing was, he worked for a company.
I thought you meant he died. Okay, he passed on the loan. I got
He passed on the loan.
Okay.
No, I was wishing death upon him. Never
like,
mind.
wow,
I didn't say that out loud. No, but it was like they passed on the loan, right? And so the whole reason was this guy had a job. He worked for a company, but the company would like source him out to other companies. He was a forklift driver of all things. And the thing was he had 9 different W-2s from 9 different companies, but he still worked for this one master company while getting those W-2s. Long story short, it looked like on the surface, it's one of those 2-inch thick files.
Right.
And then, of course, there were some issues on credit and some challenges. But anyway, it took me a day to really, I was lucky I had a good underwriter that I could go to and break it down and stuff like that. But, yeah, we got them done. And ultimately, that was the one loan that took me from third to second, and then there was a couple of others that got me into premier. And then the point I was getting to with it, though, man, builder accounts are completely different than if you're just solely focused on working realtors, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's
a lot of goods and a lot of good things, a lot of bad things too.
Well, yeah, like one thing I remember was election night when Obama got elected president. When they announced he had won, I was still at the office taking a loan application.
Wow.
So it's like 10:30 at night or whatever it was. And like, it's dark. I'm the last guy there, and I'm sitting there with the family. And the family, it was so funny. They were so overjoyed that Obama had won that the little boy was dancing. He was doing a dance. And I was like, wow, okay. Like, this is one of those moments I'll never forget. And plus, of course, weekends you're on call. Right? Holidays? Come on, baby.
Right. Yeah, there's only a few days a year that home builders are closed. So.
Yeah, very few.
You got your Easter, Christmas, and Thanksgiving. That's
but, dude, if you can earn the right to sit in that chair, woo, there's some long-lasting relationships to be built.
Very true.
I'm still friends with a lot of those sales counselors that I used to service.
Yeah, same here. Same here. There's there are different builders now, but we're still in touch and doing great things, a lot of them.
So in your situation, though, I mean, it was kind of like, would you call it luck of the draw or maybe some destiny that you ended up kind of falling into that builder model?
Of course, I like to think it had everything to do with me.
Your amazing talent and sunny personality.
I did make an effort to target home builders because I knew I had my buddy that was doing it. I'd heard for years but I did make an effort to target home builders, mortgage companies.
Yeah. So
as far as when I was doing my wholesale time. So, I knew it was definitely, for me, coming from a structured base salary type of environment from retail management, it was kind of an easy way for me to say, okay, this is crazy. I'm 100% commission, but also, hey, I know I got some stuff coming in. So that was an easy transition for me.
Gotcha.
Easier transition, yeah.
Wow. So
Absolutely.
what about you're blended now a little bit, right? Like
Yeah, so
you're doing the realtors now too. And
absolutely. I've got some great realtors that I work with, some in my neighborhood, and we all know the area that we're in very well, and there's some really good realtors out there that I'm partners with. So definitely keeping that side. Always looking for a great relationship with home builders. There's a lot of it's changed. A lot of them have gone from owning their own mortgage company to just having 2 or 3 preferred lenders and letting you go at it as far as competition goes to get their business.
Earn it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a totally different dynamic, but got to work a little harder for those, right? Do a little,
absolutely.
A little more smoozing, and it's fun. Taking people to lunch and things of that nature. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So what was the like? I mean, I know you said you got fascinated by the process, and that's ultimately kind of like what led you into it. But where was the thing, or what was the thing that once you got into it that has kept you in it for the last 15 years? In other words, because you had a job, right? But once you get 15 years in, I mean, you might as well call it what it is, and that's a career. Like, I mean, do you see yourself doing anything else ever?
No, I don't. I think I found my job that I want to do until I don't do it anymore. Which hopefully it won't be 30 more years, right? I got to get three boys through college. We'll see how that goes. I know you're in the same boat as me, but no, I don't see anything different. And as far as myself doing anything different, and I guess coming out of retail, I was my last job at Super Target, I was managing 120 people in a ginormous Super Target, one of the first in the country. And there was a time I went through a spot where I was like, I just want to do something where everything is just on me.
Right.
And, that's kind of the way I felt the first few years in the business. Like, this is great. Like, I don't have to worry about anybody screwing up. It's like, yeah, that's great. That's what's kept me in it, just the freedom to make of it whatever you want. You want to work really hard, then, you can make the sky's the limit. So that's the great thing about this business, and it's also just fun, right? Everyone remembers when they buy a house. It's a big time in people's lives, and it can be stressful. And there's so many good stories that when you work with somebody you really got to like, and you got them to the finish line, and you're celebrating at the closing table, and you're just very happy.
Oh yeah.
And it's just fun. It's just fun.
Those are the good times.
Part of it.
For
yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's what's keeping me around for sure in the business.
You just like people, don't you, dude? You're like one of the most personable people I've ever met, man. I mean,
oh wow, that's awesome.
I remember when I got introduced to you, and you were like kicking tires, and you were considering movement. Like I think it was like 5 minutes on the phone. I'm like, yeah, dude, this dude, I like this guy. Like yeah.
Well, no, I like working with people. Absolutely. I'm not, as far as I can do the technical side.
Right.
Just all the loans I've done over the years, but I do like the personable. I miss some of the things I miss that were in the business is meeting people face to face and doing loan apps.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed that part.
Baby.
Yeah, I remember printing out my loan app and the disclosure package and driving out to the sales community and sitting there at the dining room table in the model home and sitting there and having them fill out the papers. And, that part has changed in the business where now it's all...
you can still do that.
I can still do that, but, And
if you do, I tell you what, I'll take a picture of you doing it, and we'll use it as like a throwback Thursday photo
retro?
Or something. Yeah, we'll get retro.
Well, we're in such a tech area, people don't want to do that. They're like, don't you have an online app?
Yeah, exactly.
How can I upload this to you? Let me drop it in your shared folder. That's it's just changed.
Tell you what, man, if you ever want to reminisce, go spend like a couple weeks down in McAllen.
Go down to the valley. I know.
Like,
we joke about this, but I have closings down there, and the title company's down there. Like, what do you mean you're ready to close already? It's only been 12 days.
All right.
Since I've had the contract, we can't close. So it's a totally different world down there. It still is.
That's not what the contract says. Contract says we're not closing for another 2 weeks. Like, why am I going to work up a HUD? Because we're done.
Yeah. What do you mean we're closing today? But this isn't going to fund today. That's another one.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you can't fund the same day you close.
So for those of you who are listening who don't know, a lot of companies have what they call a funding authorization number. So you go, you sign this mountain of paperwork, and then the title company will fax that, and then they'll get reviewed and then cleared, and then they'll say, okay, you're okay to disperse funds. We're one of, and we're not the only ones, but we're one of very few.
Yes.
Who, once you sign, like, you're done, right? Like, it's funded. But the funny thing is I still get calls to this day, like, hey, can you call so-and-so at the title company? They just want, like, a senior manager to confirm that they're okay to release. And I was like,
right.
It says it on the package, but okay.
I know.
I'll make the call.
Title companies here even sometimes are like, wait a minute, we're faxing for funding. Can we release? Can we disperse? Like, yes, you can.
Yeah, you could have 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's one of the great things I love about movement. That's an invaluable tool.
Yeah.
Not to sit there with your client after everyone signs and
twiddle your thumbs.
Well, yeah, when are we funding? When are we funding?
Right. Let's go to lunch.
Yeah.
Let's go to lunch.
We've all done that one.
Right. You're trying to close at the title company closest to your favorite restaurant. You know?
Then lunch is over and you're still kind of twiddling your thumbs. No, we don't have to do that here.
That's good. That's one of the many things I like. Yeah. There's a lot, obviously, but I'm biased. So, but yeah, I was gonna say, man, you want to get retro, dude? We can put you down in the valley for a few weeks, and then you can have that feeling of the clients coming in. Like it always cracks me up, dude. I'll go down there, and I love it. I still love it because I started down there, right? Like I started my career in Brownsville of all places, and when I walk into our office down there, and it's like there's 4 or 5 people sitting in the lobby drinking coffee, waiting on their loan officers. And it's like, okay, cool.
Right. We're here in our office. How often do people come in?
Hardly ever. I was shocked because yesterday you actually had a client show up, right?
Right. No, I did. And that's, it was one of those complicated deals where we have a stack of papers this high. So it doesn't make sense to upload all that. So she came in and dropped stuff off. And we talked about a few things, and it's great. Got to meet her 2 daughters and little kids. And
but other than that, no, that hardly. I think Michael Task had 3 families all of last year that stopped by here.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we could almost, one of the things I've been seeing is like those advertisements for the Capital One Cafe Bank or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think we should like duplicate that just to try to pull bodies into the office,
Well, yeah. I mean, you go into mortgage companies even 10, 15 years ago, and there's sometimes in the lobby, it's like a title company, right? They have coloring books and candy jars, and it's just all that stuff would go bad if we had it here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what's on the what's one of the goals you've set for yourself for 2019? Bro?
Oh, goals. Well, personal goals, I got to lose some weight, man.
Oh yeah?
I think we all have that goal this time of year, but this is the year. I'm ready. I had that I had a gruesome bike injury with my son where I shattered my wrist, and that's been about a year and a half now, and it's all healed up, and I'm ready to get back at it. But just I want to just get a little healthier, drop some pounds.
Yeah.
And
how far away are you from the Brushy Creek Park, Champion Park?
Oh, I used to. My first house in Avery. I live in Avery Ranch. My first house, there was a trail behind my house that I could walk and go across the creek and get into that park.
Yeah.
But I could still get there. I'd have to probably drive, but I can get there.
I live 2 minutes from there, and I still drive to the park.
Do you have access to it though? Yeah, you do. Yeah, it goes all the way up there. Yeah.
So you know where Brushy Creek and I don't know what the other road is, but there's like a corner, and they have a park there, and then
with the duck pond.
I think there's a duck pond there.
It's Great Oaks, and I know what you're talking.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely.
The corner.
Yep.
So I'll drive there. I live like literally like less than half a mile. I'm such a lazy bastard, but I live like less than a quarter of a mile from there. But I'll get in my truck, drive to that park, and then get out and I'll walking jog, yeah, because I'm a big B for a reason,
Yeah, I hear you, man. You gotta.
But I've been doing that, dude. So if you want some accountability partnership, dude, we'll get in there.
All right, maybe so.
Look at that. Changing lives on the podcast.
I've got my gym membership ready to go. It's
Oh, did you go foo-foo? Did you join the
no,
foo-foo
I went
gym?
to the old Fitness Connection. It used to be an HEB, Lake Creek in 183. Yeah, it's a great gym. It's super cheap, no initiation fee.
Really?
So you don't have to feel guilty if you quit.
Really?
It's like $20 a month, all brand new equipment. It's huge, so you have all the machines. There's whatever you do, free weights, your machines. There's more than one option, so you don't have to sit there and wait for people.
Right.
Now, if you go at 5, I don't know, especially this time of year.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I've been curious. I've been curious to see what Lifetime Fitness looks like right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm sure it's
only
just
imagine.
to the gills, with the resolutionists.
Absolutely.
New year, new you, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody has fired up right now. So
you're gonna lose some weight.
yeah, personal goals, lose some weight. Business goals.
There you go.
I'm ready just to continue to expand on my group of realtors that I work with,
Uh-huh.
and I'm kind of in between builders right now. I like to say so. I've been talking to quite a few. And looking to form a new relationship there as far as home builders go. So,
Yeah. Have you thought about what your plan is as far as how you're going to market yourself this year? Are we going to keep it old school like the way you and I grew up, of just pressing flesh, or are you looking to trying to dip your toe in the water?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to do some podcast.
There you go.
No, I've never been big on social media.
See, you can check one off of your resolution
there you go.
box.
Podcast check.
Yeah.
Now, I've never been big on social media, but I really, I'm still a big believer in face-to-face. Like, I know
Ditto.
you can get out there. I personally am bombarded with so many things, that whatever services are out there, via your phone or email. Like, that's my big thing is face-to-face, and people already know that are already out there. So I'm continuing to work those relationships. People that I've worked with in the past that I'd love to reconnect with. So that's kind of the avenue that I'm using. I am a big believer in some of the direct mail pieces, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look at doing some of that. I did the back of my neighborhood magazine. Do you guys have one of those? It's called Avery Ranch Living. I know Rancho Brushy Creek has one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
I was on the back cover of that with a great realtor partner of mine. And that was great. I mean, I think a lot of people saw that. I don't know. It's more of a branding type of thing than actually getting business.
Yeah.
I've done some things like that in the past. But
So one of my friendly competitors who lives down the road from me, he did this thing recently. And apparently this is something that is not new to Austin, but it was new to me. And him and a realtor, he partnered with a realtor, and they did a movies at the park.
that's a great idea. I think I might know this person.
Yeah, you probably do.
I think I heard of somebody doing that. That's a great idea.
I thought so. And it was like The Incredibles 2, and it's like and I got to thinking about it. I was like, man, dude, you could put one of those together, because they did it at the park.
Right.
Right. So there's probably little to no cost for that. Maybe,
Right.
I don't know, a couple hundred. I don't know. But then it's like, what, you rent the screen, you rent a projector, you know what I mean? You invite families out, they throw blankets.
So I'm kind of getting off subject here, but my wife and we have a son that has autism. His name's Zach. And my wife has had a charity. Actually, she just shut it down recently, but it gave iPads to kids with autism.
Really?
And so one of the fundraisers we did was the Blue Light Drive-In movie. Because no one does drive-in movies anymore. It's kind of a
drive-ins are so
yeah.
awesome.
So
though.
we did that, and it was a great fundraiser for her. I mean, every time we did it, we had 7 or 8 iPads that we could give out with this technology that for kids with autism that couldn't talk, so they could use their iPad to talk. Yeah, with the software loaded on there as far as being verbal, and if they couldn't talk and were not verbal, they could use the iPad to talk and communicate. So yeah, she gave out over 100 iPads, but that was always a big piece of it was the drive-in fundraiser. And we did. You'll love these movies. We did E.T.
Oh yeah.
And we did the Goonies. We did it 2 years.
Dude, who doesn't love the damn Goonies, man?
What is this? Goonies Never Die, or what is
That's
it?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan. That's a great idea. I think we should look into doing something like that.
Yes, I think you should.
Video in the park. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we. Sorry,
I just need the advertising dollars from you.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, and that's the thing. First off, I think that's a really cool thing that your wife was doing. You said she just stopped doing it?
Well, so my son now, he didn't talk until he was 5, and he still wasn't talking at all. He got he got an iPad one day, and next thing we know, he's writing out words on it. So we were like, wow, he can read. We had no idea. So, and this was before he was in kindergarten. So it really made a big impact on us. And after several years, it actually talks. There's an app you can load onto your iPad, and it'll actually say out loud. You could go to a restaurant and order things. Some of these kids use it to actually talk. So our son, he was 8 or 9. Maybe I have that date wrong. 7 or 8, somewhere in there. He actually started to talk.
Somewhere between 5 and 10.
Yeah, he actually started to talk using and just modeling. I think his iPad, the way it sounded, I think it helped him verbalize. So at that point, my wife and I were like, we should help other people with this. So she really took it and ran with it. And like I said, they gave out over 100 iPads.
Wow.
She partnered with some of the school districts. And, we were really proud of her for – I didn't do near as much as she did with that. It was really kind of her thing.
That is really freaking cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And, my son's 12 now. And we're really, preparing him for his future as far as life goes, and that we felt like we honored him and with the charity, and he kind of moved on past the iPad. He doesn't use it anymore because he can talk. So we're looking for the next thing that we're going to do with him and with all of that, and so we did shut it down because it was a full-time job.
Oh yeah,
it became a really big deal. So the fundraising part of that was really, really hard too. So
one of our movement folks down in the Corpus area, her and her husband started their own foundation, their own charity for veterans.
That's great.
Yeah, they open up their home every month to 25, 30 veterans. Just the only criteria is that you have to have served honorable discharge, right? Or active duty, right? But the point is they're having a lot of success with it. But again, it's a full-time job. Like, dude, they've set up a committee. They've got a board.
Well, and that's the thing about her charity. It was the very low overhead. It was her and a couple other people, and it was, every dollar went to the iPads. There was no overhead, so it was very labor intensive, to say the least. So yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
dude. Well, I still think you need to look. We should definitely look into that movie.
Movies thing. People love movies. It's cool to watch a movie outside, right?
I think the drive-in thing is actually cool too. I think that's a little outside the box. I don't know what anything like that would cost, but
we'll talk offline.
We'll talk
Absolutely.
offline.
That may be a good idea.
Yeah, I'll have to edit this out so the competition doesn't do it first.
Yeah, let's not let them steal our ideas here.
Well, cool, man. Cool. All right, brother. Well, dude, thanks for taking the time to sit in the chair today, dude.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Any closing comments for anybody listening?
No, good luck, everyone out there. If anyone would like to contact me, you can get my email, sam.whitworth@movement.com. Online application, loan4sam.com, the number 4. Everyone have a great year this year.
That's it. Yeah.
Rates are low again. Let's get.
We got to capitalize while we can.
That's right. Absolutely. I don't think we're going to have the January doldrums this year. I think it's going to get busy quick.
It's funny. Like, I've heard a lot of people tell me, whereas normally in our industry, it's like, right before Christmas, it just dies. A lot of people were still popping loans in right up to the end.
Right. No, that was my experience too. This year, that Christmas in between Christmas and New Year's, my phone rang quite a bit. Where usually it's
people were not on the fence,
right?
Which is exciting, and hopefully a really good telltale sign. Because let's also be honest, 2018 was a bit of a roller coaster for a lot of people.
Sure, it was. Absolutely.
Well, cool, man. Well, dude, thanks again for taking time to come on the show, man.
Anytime.
Hopefully you'll come back.
Anytime.
I know you're just down the hallway, but you kind of,
do I have a choice? No.
Right? No, you don't. Hey, Sam, want to stay working here? Yeah. Okay, get your butt in the chair, bro. Come on.
We could do one next week if you want.
Today we're going to talk about qualifying.
There you go.
Anyway. All right. Well, hey, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Big B Mortgage Podcast. If you did, leave us a like, leave us a share. Leave us a comment. But whatever you do, please stay social, everybody. See ya.